Hello and welcome to another live daily AM language lesson. Today we are going to look at paraphrasing, and paraphrasing can be a little bit difficult, but let's see how you guys do. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like the video and subscribe. And at the end of every video, you will always see links to our various social media sites. And you can also find the links to our website where you can find out how you can have lessons. And of course, actual lessons. You can come to Malta and you can actually have physical lessons in a classroom. So make sure you do that to find out more. Hope all of you watching are well. It's a lovely day today. Well, it's another sunny day. So that's to be expected in Malta at this time of year. I hope you all had a good morning class for those of you who went to school today. I'm actually on time, so I'm going to wait a little bit for more people to join us before starting. So, yeah. What we'll do is we're going to look at, I'm going to introduce you to paraphrasing. It is something that you need to learn about as your English develops. And it's important to know how to do it and what you need to do. At the lower levels, this is not going to be a massive issue. It's not something you will learn when you're, let's say, elementary. But as you progress through the levels, intermediate, upper intermediate, this becomes more and more important. And if you're doing an exam class, such as IELTS or Cambridge, TOEFL, paraphrasing is important. It's important to know what it is. Arena, good afternoon, Arena F. Welcome to today's lesson. Lovely to see you again. Hope you are doing well. I hope everyone's technology is working. I don't know what it is with my computer these days. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think I do need to get a new computer. Even programs, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But it is definitely beginning to annoy me. Hello, Sandra. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope you're doing well. And welcome back. Yes, welcome back. Yeah, I'm still going to give people another 2 minutes to join, and then I'll start. But to start off with, yeah, just to explain a little bit more, paraphrasing, to get good at paraphrasing, it really tests your knowledge in terms of vocabulary, grammar, modal verbs, and meaning. All of that ties in with meaning, because paraphrasing is testing your ability to understand the meaning and to rewrite the sentences, or can you hear what the person is saying, and then can you paraphrase what they've said as well. So can you end up saying it? Can you end up saying the same thing but with different words? Evelina, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so oh no, I wasn't even typing. So Leonina, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. I'm soon going to start doing something whereby I'm going to go through the lessons. Actually, I think yesterday was our 100th daily live lesson. So today is 101. So one of the things I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the lessons and see if I can maybe put together small clips that can explain different things a bit better and create like a mini series of just 1 or 2 minute videos. Okay, so paraphrasing. What is it? Simply put, Stefano, good afternoon. Nice to see you here. Paraphrasing, it simply is when you hear something and you can translate what that person is saying using different words. Or you read something and you can rewrite what they've said using different words. In an exam, you would see this in a reading task. So you might be looking at true or false or not given questions. For example, you might be seeing the sentences written slightly differently, and you need to be able to see the paraphrases. So what it says in the text, what it says in the answers, does it have the same meaning? So the words might be different, the grammar might be even slightly different, but the meaning is the same. And that is what paraphrasing is. So it's all to do with meaning, and this is a skill that you will have to become good at as you progress through the levels. This becomes really important when you're doing exam English, such as IELTS. It becomes important once you are in an intermediate or upper intermediate level, and certainly onwards. Pre-intermediate, you might begin to have some exposure to it. So you might see 1 or 2 tasks that involves paraphrasing, but not so much. Elementary, no. We wouldn't do paraphrasing really with elementary students because it's unlikely elementary students would have enough language to begin with. Hola, hello, Alejandra. Hi, welcome to today's lesson. Did you go along to the office? Did they tell you about your scores today, Alejandra? Don't worry for being late. I wasn't here this morning, but I knew that you had to go to the office this morning because you had done a test. Let me know if you went to the office. If not, yes, you did. Excellent. Well done. Good. Okay then. Well, guys, I'll be in the office tomorrow morning as well. Okay, so let's begin. Paraphrasing. Now, I have a little example here, so we're going to have a little look at it. Okay. And then I'm going to give you 2 examples. So this is quote. We've got some quotes. So this will be reporting what happened. So this is Austin, Texas. So it's in the United States of America. So the sentence says, police have arrested, so that's a present perfect there. Police have arrested a 28-year-old man who they say broke into an Austin business. So he broke into a business and stole a couple of sausages and fell asleep. So the important bits of language here is that the person is 28. The person is 28 years old. That's number 1. Number 2, police arrested him. Number 3, he broke into a business, stole a couple of sausages, and fell asleep. So that is the most important bit of language. Those are the key words. He's 28 years old. Police arrested him, broke into a business, stole a couple of sausages, and fell asleep. Also, location, we know it's in Austin, Texas. Now, let's be honest. Everyone knows that in Texas, anything can happen. I mean, they are famous for various reasons. Not all good. Some good, but not all good. Nonetheless, that is the important information. So I'm going to give you two examples, one correct, one incorrect, and I'm going to explain to you why. Okay, remember, we're looking for sentences that say the same thing, but with the same meaning. Okay, so if we look at the first one here, okay, the first attempt at paraphrasing, there are some problems with it. Okay, 28-year-old man in Austin, Texas. So far, so good. But then it says, didn't break into a business and run like most criminals. Instead, he took several sausages, then simply fell asleep inside the business. We can already see there are some mistakes here, because in the original thing, we can say, no, he did break into the shop. So that's already wrong. We can also see that he took a couple of sausages, not several sausages. So there are no less than two mistakes. So this is not a correct paraphrase. One of the things we have to be careful about is we have to think, did the action happen? Ooh, did the action happen? What happened? And what happened? These are two really important questions when we're thinking of trying to write a paraphrasing sentence. In this case, this first sentence is all wrong. Two major mistakes. That does not have the same meaning as the original. Now, let's look at the next one. Shall we see if this makes more sense? Okay. Now, let me just... Okay, so we're going to have that and then that. Okay, now this is where we need to be really careful about language. So it says here, a 28-year-old man, Austin, Texas. Good start. Didn't break into a business and run like most criminals. Now, here, again, we've got this didn't break into this business. Now, one of the things here is, though, it doesn't, we've got this like most criminals, and I didn't see this before, my mistake, like most criminals. So it's saying that it is saying he broke in to this business, but didn't do things normally. That's what it's really saying. Instead, he took several sausages, then simply fell asleep inside the business. Wait a minute. Oh, that's why I'm a bit confused. I put the same thing in twice. So that's my mistake. Apologies. No wonder I was getting confused. Okay. So what is the correct way of writing this? Close. Apologies. I copied the same thing twice, which is why it didn't make sense. Okay. You will be correct, Alejandro, because number 2 is going to make more sense. Okay, so a 28-year-old man in Austin, Texas, broke into a business, but with a twist. Instead, he took some sausages and then simply fell asleep inside the business according to the police. So if I go back up to the original and we compare the two, we can see that both paragraphs are saying the same thing. They're saying that the guy, he's 28, he broke into this shop, he took some sausages and fell asleep. No problems. And the police caught him. So that's the important thing. So what do we need to know? Well, I'm now going to break this down into simple sentences. And I'm then going to give you guys options where you have to choose the best choice, A or B. Okay? So let's begin. So the sentence is, a 28-year-old woman was in a car crash and was rushed to hospital. So here we are going to be seeing something called a passive. I know not all of you have seen it, yes, but we've got this was rushed, okay? So she was in a car crash and the ambulance came and took her to hospital. Now, how do we say this again? Okay, so option 1, A. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2. And option B. So you guys now need to decide which one is the correct paraphrase. Is it A or is it B? Important words. Okay, we know it's a woman and that is consistent. But then it's about, okay, well, was there an accident? And what happened? Leondina says A. Okay. Do other students agree with you? And then we're just going to have a look at why and how we can develop our range of vocabulary as well, even within sentences. So Stefano says A is the correct way of paraphrasing. Okay, good. All of you are saying A. So what's the really important thing here? Well, it's this passive. Okay, so originally it was rushed to hospital. Now this is a passive. But we need to think of other ways of saying that someone went to hospital. So we've got was taken to hospital. For example, if we want to remain in the passive. If we want to suddenly make this active, but still say the same thing, we can say the ambulance. Oh, the ambulance rushed her to hospital, or the ambulance took her to hospital. And this is an important thing. When you are paraphrasing, you can say the same thing. You can have the same meaning, but you can change the type of grammar. Now, changing the grammar can sometimes be dangerous because your focus might slightly change. But it's something that happens with paraphrasing. So that's why we have to be careful. And this is why we need to develop our range of vocabulary, develop our grammar, so we can have an idea of how to play around with this language. So we're saying the same thing, but in different ways. Stefano says, a woman aged 28 involved in a car crash has been immediately taken to hospital. Yes, Stefano. Now, I know you are of a high level, Stefano, but this is a very good example. So this is paraphrasing. We've got the most important information. A woman, 28, she was in a car crash and was taken to hospital. In this case, has been taken to hospital. So we're saying the same thing, but in different ways. Let's go again. And let's see this time how we do with this one, okay? So this is, I suppose this is from like Independence Day. Aliens attacked the city in their spaceships and destroyed some buildings. Okay, we're going to go with this one. And I'd like you now to think about which one makes more sense. Okay. Option one, option two. Option B. Now, at the moment, I'm probably focusing a little bit more on grammar than vocabulary at this stage. But have a little look, guys. So the original sentence is aliens attacked the city in their spaceships and destroyed some buildings. So this is a past simple and it's an active sentence. Option A, the city was attacked by aliens and a number of buildings were destroyed. So in this case, in this example, we've got a past simple, there's a passive, and one or two slightly, there's some information missing. B, oh, sorry, that's supposed to be there will, the city will, I forgot city. The city will be attacked by aliens in their spaceships, and many buildings are going to be ruined. Here, all of a sudden, the tense has been changed. So Leondina, Evelina, Sandra are all saying A. Okay. Are all saying A. Stefano agrees and Alejandro agrees. Excellent. Well done, guys. So this is the other thing we can see. In the original sentence, it was a past simple active with lots of information. Sentence A, which is the correct answer, it's a past simple, but it's in a passive. And as you guys might know, in a passive, some information can be left out. So we don't have spaceships. Now, in the passive, if aliens are attacking, we don't need spaceships because that's not the point. The point is that some buildings or a number of buildings were destroyed. And here you can see a synonym. We can say some and a number. So some and a number of are synonyms of each other. So we can replace that. Good. Well done, guys. Now, let's begin to play around with one or two other things. And then I'm going to give you a listening activity. And we'll see how we get on. Okay, let's have a look at the next example. This time, though, I am not going to give you guys options. I'm going to see what you guys write. So this is going to be a little bit harder. And I know we have people of different levels. So I'm going to try and make sure that the sentence I'm going with is going to be of a good level. So everyone can have a go. Okay. Okay, guys, let's see what you try to do. So the man didn't get to work because he got hit by a cyclist on his way to work. Just remember, guys, a cyclist is someone riding their bicycle. So it's not a motorbike, but a bicycle, like from Queen. Bicycle, bicycle, that song. So important things you need to think about when you try to write this sentence in a paraphrasing way. You need to think about the context of didn't or did get to work. You need to think about words like got hit. Now, this is an active. So if you feel confident, you might want to try and rewrite this in a passive, for example. Then you have this at the end, on his way to work. Now, this is a bit of language that you might want to play with. You could decide to put it at the start of your sentence, for example. You might want to rewrite the way of trying to say someone is going to work, for example. You could you could rewrite this and say the man was going to work, for example. So you have some different options there, and we'll see what you guys do. So think about the context, and let's see what you guys try to create. This is going to be a little bit more difficult, but like I said, okay, think about the following. So think about did or didn't. Those type of words, really important. Think about other words think about got hit. Can you make this, can you make any changes to this? If you're feeling confident, maybe a passive. You've got on his way to work. Maybe you want to try and rewrite this as a past continuous, for example, such as he was going to work, for example. So you've got options here to try and create your own paraphrasing sentence. But let's see what you guys do. It is harder than seeing options, but everyone, just have a go. And because it's always the next step. What can you do? What I'm going to look for, guys, is I'm not going to be too worried if you have some mistakes. What I want to see is, do you end up writing something that has the same meaning? Because that's the first and most important thing with paraphrasing. Can you get the same meaning? So even if there are one or two small mistakes, don't worry. I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's all to do with meaning. And that's an important thing to remember. Paraphrasing is all about meaning. If you need a little bit more help, guys, I'm happy to give you a couple of, I'm happy to give you some options as well. If you would like some options, just let me know in the live chat and I'll give you some options so you guys can have a go. But it can be a little bit difficult. But like I said, it's a really good skill to know. And when you practice writing, paraphrasing sentences, it helps you. It helps you when you want to try and explain yourself, because you will find times when you're trying to say something to someone and you can see they didn't understand what you said, or they don't fully understand what you said. So you then need to say the same thing, but you need to paraphrase it, hoping that they will then understand you better. So Leondine has come in on his way to work, a man has been injured by a cyclist, and so he couldn't go to work. Leondina, really good. Fantastic effort. I like what you did here. You've played around with the language. So originally we wrote it in a past simple active sentence. You've got the same meaning. You've played around with it a bit. You've gone this time with a passive present perfect, which is very impressive. And the most important thing is the meaning is the same. So yes, a person had been injured. Yes, he was hit by a cyclist. And yes, he did not get to work. So really well done, Leodina. Good stuff. Stefano has come in with while the man was going to work, or as the man was going to work. Yeah, I like what you've done there, Stefano. And both of those options are correct. Both of them are good. A cyclist hit him without intention. As a result, the injured man couldn't go to work. Well done there, Stefano. As a result, the injured man couldn't go to work. So you've got the meaning the same. Now, the only thing that is different is that you've added extra information, which is a cyclist hit him without intention. Now, this is the only bit that is different from the original text, because in the original sentence, there is no mention of intention. Now, I would say in this case, I'm really happy with what you've done. But in an exam at a higher level, Stefano, that is something that could actually be that's something that could present some difficulty. Like, for instance, if you end up doing certain types of reading, they will the text will end up indicating, or might not actually say at all, if there was intention. In fact, something like that is a classic example of not given. You can imagine in certain reading tests where you will see that the intention, they might ask you a question about intention, but it's a classic not given answer. Okay, guys, really well done. I like what you've done. If anyone else would like to have a go, please have a go. Please do so. Let's see how you get on. Okay, guys, you're doing really well. Now, I'm now going to give you a listening here. I'm going to write some sentences, and what I want you to do is listen to what I say. You need to choose the best choice, okay? And this is really important. You need to choose what you think is the best choice, okay? Only one of these statements are going to be true. Only one of them. Now, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you three sentences, and only one of them will be correct. So listen to what I say. I'm going to say it twice, and then you guys can have a think, okay? So, right, let's go with... Oh, sorry, I pressed enter before I had finished typing. So these are the three options. The pizza was undercooked and and I couldn't eat it. Ignore the extra the. You don't need the there. The pizza was burnt and it was difficult to eat, and the pizza was a bit overcooked, but I could still eat it. Now, one of the things you're going to have to listen out for is the following. You can see undercooked, burnt, and overcooked. So just remember, for those of you who might not know, undercooked means pizza has not been cooked enough. Okay, it wasn't in the oven long enough. If it's burnt, then it was in the oven for too long and it is black. And if it's overcooked, it means it was in the oven for too long, but it might not be burnt. So that is going to be important here. So listen very carefully. Which one? I'm going to say something very short, and you need to decide which one is the correct paraphrase, A, B, or C. So last week I was making pizza. I was making pizza with my cousin, and we like to make our own pizzas. We got everything right. Oh, I haven't finished yet, Alejandra. I haven't finished yet. It's just a listening one. So just finish listening to what I'm saying, and then decide which one it is, A, B, or C. Okay? So this is a listening one. So, right. So I'll start again. So last week I was making pizza with my cousin, and we like to make our own pizzas. We had all the food, all the ingredients. We put on the oven and we heated the oven up. We then put the pizza in, but we were not sure when the pizza was properly cooked. We took it out first and we looked at it and we thought, maybe it needs a bit more. We didn't think it was cooked. But 5 minutes later, we came back and we thought, oh no, we left it in there for too long. But we could still eat it. Okay, so that's the story. I'll say it again so you guys have the chance to listen to it again. So, my cousin and I like to make pizzas, and last week we made a pizza. We had all the ingredients, we put on the oven, and we put the pizza in. We took it out at one point to see if it was ready, and we saw that it needed more time. It wasn't cooked. So we put it back in. But 5 minutes later, we took it back out again, and we had left it in there for too long. But we could still eat it. Okay, what do you guys think? So Stefano thinks it's C, and Leodina agrees with Stefano that it's C. So they're saying that the pizza was a bit overcooked, but I could still eat it. Okay, let's see if others agree with you. Maybe Alejandra, Evelina, Irina, Leondine. Leondine has given the answer, so has Stefano. Maybe Sandra would like to have a go. What do you guys think? Okay. I'll say it one more time just in case you need to hear it again. So, my cousin and I like to make pizzas. Last week, we made a pizza. We got all the ingredients, everything. We turned the oven on and we put the pizza in. We pulled it out to see if it was ready, and we saw that it was not cooked. So we put it back in. And then we took the pizza out 5 minutes later, but we had left the pizza in the oven for too long. But we could still eat it. Okay, so I'll give some of you guys. Okay, so Arena agrees, Arena F agrees that it's C. Okay, guys, so 3 of you have come in with the answer C. Let's see. Alejandra also agrees with you that it is sentence C. Okay, guys, you are correct. C is the correct paraphrasing language. Now, what I did was, you will hear, is that instead of overcooked, I used I left it being the pizza, in the oven for too long. So to say overcooked, I used this language. I left it in the oven for too long. That was the biggest change in terms of paraphrasing language. So I said the same thing, but I chose different language. I chose different words. So that is our little lesson, 45-minute lesson on paraphrasing language. And one of the things I will say to you guys as a bit of advice, when you practice sentences, trying different grammar, new words, when you practice writing your own sentences for homework, try and write the same thing at least 3 times in different ways. It's a really good way to improve your ability to say the same thing in different ways. And that's the best way to improve your ability to communicate. If you can say the same thing in at least 3 different ways, it makes it much easier for you to make other people understand you. So it's a really good technique. So guys, please like the video if you have enjoyed this lesson. Like the video if you found today's lesson helpful, enjoyable. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. For all of you who took part today, we've got quite a few. We've got Alejandra, Irina, Leondina, Stefano, Evelina, Sandra. Thank you very much for participating in the live comment section today. And really well done. Now, I know some of you are of higher level. I know some of you of a slightly lower level, but you all did really, really well today and really showed the your strengths today. Thank you very much, Irina. Bye for now. Have a lovely evening. You too, Evelina, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow in the afternoon at 4 o'clock with another lesson. Tomorrow, we are going to look at... What am I looking at tomorrow? I keep on forgetting. Tomorrow, Lost for Words. Well, it's quite good, Lost for Words. We're going to talk more about how we can explain ourselves. Thank you, Stefanos. Thank you, Leondina. I'll be in the office tomorrow as well in the morning. So if you have any questions, feel free to come to the tuition office. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and bye for now. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone.